Hi, welcome back to the channel. So this video is my 90-day update. My plan is actually to do one video a week because I found that I've had such incredible feedback from the videos that I've done so far. Only four on the carnivore diet. And I've never had such a response from any social media platform. And it's not just getting responses, you know, that obviously that's really nice, but it's the what people are writing is what's really touching me and encouraging me. And so many people are saying, look, you've got to put the word out there. My health transformation has been so startling that I also feel that desire to keep spreading the word. So what I would like to do is put out one video a week. That would be my aim. And it's just been really difficult to do that because of life events. So fine, whatever. A sad piece of news is that the chicken who appeared in my last video sadly died. Like a week later, she attained YouTube stardom. She got about 1,000 views so far, and then she appeared to become egg bound, and I think an egg didn't come out of her and then broke inside her and she died. Took a few days to die. So that's a piece of sad news. And the other piece of sad news, bird related also, is that my stickers, which a lot of people comment on these stickers, they are stickers and they are there for a reason. They are to stop birds colliding into the glass. But we had a bird collision also last week. So two birds dead since the last video. Sad news. Having said that, I have eaten just as many birds in that time, now that I'm a carnivore, so yeah. But the happy news is I went and got 4 new chickens because the loss of that chicken brought me down to just 2, and I'm now eating 4 eggs a day minimum, so I needed to get a few more eggs coming in, and so I've got 4 new chickens, so that's really awesome. 6 chickens in total. So hopefully that will address one of the issues I have, which is finances. So how has the diet been going? 3 months in. In some ways I've got used to having better health and better strength. It's weird how you adjust to the way your body is so quickly. For the years where I was struck down with severe fatigue, I forgot what it was like to feel healthy. So that feeling of returning to life and the life force and that miraculous feeling of suddenly going up a level in my health and strength was amazing. And now I would say that I'm plateauing. It's not that I'm not getting stronger and stronger and stronger, but I am getting used to the fact that I have more energy and that I'm going out more. You know, I used to really struggle to leave the mountain every day, just because I have to take my Suzuki down to the mountain and change into my Toyota Yaris. My Suzuki's falling apart and it's my 4x4. I need it all year round to get up the mountain. And it's just a bit annoying when you have to get down the mountain and then change into the Yaris, especially if you've got the dogs and shopping bags and what have you. And it just all seems a bit too much of an effort when you've got fatigue on the go. So I will often prefer to stay up here on my mountain. I've been going out every day. Sometimes even spontaneously. I mean, that was something I couldn't do. I couldn't do that before I started the carnivore diet. People would ring me and be like, hey, do you want to meet for coffee? I'd be like, yeah, if I could teleport, maybe. Or if you want to come up the mountain, sure. But I just would, more often than not, I'd be at home. And I'd need to be at home. And if I did go out, I'd need to rest the next day. And if I tried to push through it and go out every day, it's not possible. Anyone who's got MS or any condition that brings neurological fatigue will understand that. You have fatigue payback. So anyway, at the moment, I would say that I'm really just enjoying having some flexibility back into my life where I don't necessarily have a huge amount of payback, but I've got to be careful because if I overdo it, I might still, or if there's a stressful situation, I've noticed that I do still have a fatigue payback. So I had that this past week because of this crazy situation that was entirely to do with gossip, and that left me sofa bound, unfortunately, for a week. I hadn't had that for many months, perhaps over a year. I hadn't had that type of fatigue where you are literally sofa bound. But that was not to do with the diet. I think, you know, if I didn't have the diet going on, it would have been a lot worse. With my extra energy that I've got and strength from the diet, I've actually been doing a lot of extra driving and just heavy lifting and things like that, because Ant's out of action, largely out of action, and he has been for quite some time. So apart from, I'm trying to encourage him to start the carnivore diet, because he does eat meat, but he doesn't exclusively eat meat, and also you can't tell him to do anything. He does what he wants to do. So but he's seen the difference for me, and he's read your comments, so I who knows, maybe he'll go carnivore at some point, and maybe that would make things a little more streamlined in terms of shopping, because right now I'm buying a lot of expensive food on the carnivore diet, but I'm also, when I go shopping, I'm going shopping for him, so I'm buying all sorts of other stuff. That's fine, he doesn't have to be eating what I'm eating, but it does mean that I can't really get a true sense of how much the carnivore diet would cost, because it's two people in the household and we're not both on the same diet. This update is not exactly the happy clappy update that my 30-day one was. I would say I'm plateauing at the moment, and I am still really enjoying it, but I've also found that I've experienced some of the downsides. I suppose that's probably where I'm at. And maybe I'll do another video that talks about the downsides of it, just so that people can have a heads up, you know, what to expect. Because there's a transition period at the beginning. Somebody in my comments wrote that they were really struggling. They've been on it for a week. So I just want to reassure that person that it is quite tough, a week or two that you start. It feels like you're kind of withdrawing. I felt like I was withdrawing from sugar, basically. Although I didn't consider myself somebody with a particularly sweet tooth. Anyway, but so there's a transition period, but I got through that quite quickly, adjusted fine, had this upturn, which kind of was just so brilliant that I didn't really consider anything else. But then as time's passed, I do realise that, well, it's interesting, because I wouldn't say it's boring, because the thing is, what's happening on the carnivore diet is you are eating your fill, and then you're not eating anything, and by the time you are actually hungry, the plate that's in front of you of meat is exactly what you want and need. So it's fine, you know, you want to eat it, it's fine, it's delicious. However, sometimes I just want a little bit of variation on my plate, and so I'm bringing back into the diet a few items that I just feel like enhance it more for me. So avocados, that's one. I love avocados, and they're very low in carbohydrates, and they've got healthy fats. So and fibre. So I don't know. I think maybe people know. I've come across some videos on YouTube that talk about cholesterol and fibre and it all being a bit of a myth. So I need to do further research into that. So that's another future video. Cholesterol and fibre. What's the truth? So avocados, melon, because I've also read that they're quite low in carbohydrates, and I love melon. I could eat melon all day, every day. So avocados, melon, coconut water, that's for the electrolytes. Also, it's very thirst quenching. And onions, because I grew a whole load of onions this year. I've got 5 boxes like this of onions, which I put in the ground before I went carnivore. I've got 5 boxes of onions. I don't want them to just sit and go mouldy. So I am going to incorporate onions back into the diet. I think that I will, whatever I grow in my garden, I'll probably just allow myself to have a small amount of, because at least then you're not having pesticides, you know exactly where it's come from. And it's pleasurable. It's pleasurable to grow vegetables and cook them. I had tomatoes on the go, cherry tomatoes, and Actually, because I went to Morocco, I just let the whole thing grow over with weeds, and I only got one nice big fat cherry tomato, which I chopped up and put in my mince, and I really appreciated it. Just one little chopped up cherry tomato added a nice bit of flavour without adding too much sugars, carbohydrates. So that's what I've decided. My policy is, if I grow it in my garden, it's fair game. I want to be more carnivore than keto. It's just that I just like fruit and vegetables and I miss them. Not to the point where if I couldn't ever eat them again, I wouldn't mind, because I'm fully satiated on this diet. But yeah, like, so the other day I had a plate of, it was bacon and minced beef and an avocado and some cheese, and it was just delicious to look at. It was green and meaty and a sprinkle of cheese, and it was just delicious with the coffee on the side. Yeah, I've decided to make things a little bit more variable. I've had real trouble with leg cramps. When I first started the diet, I was very careful to, I was thinking about electrolytes, and I was taking magnesium supplements, but when I went to Morocco, everything got thrown off, and when I came back from Morocco, we had quite a rocky time, actually. Since Morocco, we've had quite a rocky time, and the electrolytes just went out of the window. And then I started to get these mysterious leg cramps every morning, and they were just getting progressively worse. All I had to do was move my legs slightly when I woke up, and it would be like and each time more and more painful. And did a bit of research. Well, I had a sense, is this to do with the electrolytes? And I googled it, and it was to do with the electrolytes. So I've been really careful about my electrolytes. So I've got these for electrolytes, and I've got this magnesium. So I'm taking them religiously every morning now, and they have helped. I've also got bath salts, and I have a bath, and I think magnesium is absorbed better through the skin, as far as I understand. So that's really important. Anyone who's considering starting it, don't forget about the electrolytes. It's not just something that people talk about, it's something that has an impact on you physically. I don't know whether I'll have to keep taking these forever on the carnivore diet. I'm not quite sure about that, but I'm hoping that avocados and coconut water would be enough. I don't know. If anybody knows, please say in the comments. But what I'm going to do is do this research myself, and I'm going to put out videos that aren't just me rambling about my experience, but are actually giving proper facts and research about the carnivore diet. I want to give value back, not just wax lyrical about how wonderful I feel. Oh, that's my phone ringing. Hang on. See?
Oh, it's Frank. ¿Te recuerdas de Chef Sherwin?
Frank, no me digas. ¿Cómo?
Okay.
Ah.
Okay.
Cuéntame.
Yo quiero regresar a ver.
Okay, well, it's all kicking off. The chickens are squawking, the dogs are barking, the phone's ringing. I'm just feeling exhausted right now. That was a friend from Morocco, a French guy who, Yasmin, big doggies inside. Doggies inside. Thank you. Yeah, both of you. That's right. Doggies inside. Oh my god, now what is it? Oh, it's Ant. Hey, you're right. You're not going to believe who I just had a phone call from. Okay, so that was Frank, a guy who we met in Morocco, a French guy, who is now in Alicante trying to hitchhike up to Asturias to come and visit. That's nice, that's very nice. And then Ant called, and he was going to come up to the cabana today to help out because my water pump's broken. We bought a new one yesterday, and he was going to come and fit it. We live together, but there's a cabin and a village house, and we kind of go between the two. And unfortunately, he's too ill to come up. So this has been the thing. Like, although I've had a lot more energy on the carnivore diet, that energy has actually gone into doing a hell of a lot of driving, and like, for example, we have a big firewood delivery, huge, And normally I would need help with that, like no chance I could, you know, to move it from, it comes up on a big tractor on a big trailer, and then they dump it in the garden, and then I have to move it, or me and whoever have to move it to the sheltered side of the cabin, so that it will stay out of the rain. It's a big job. With MS fatigue, forget it, you know, it's exhausting. But because Ant was ill, and I knew that he's the type that will come up anyway and try and move the logs, even though it's really ill-advised for him to do so, he will do that. He's the kind of guy who won't admit that he's ill, even when he's like collapsing. And I just thought, I don't want him to do that. I don't want him to move all these logs. I'm a carnivore now. I can do it. And I did it in 2 days. I moved all the logs for Ant. I'll show you. All those logs. Now, that is a serious achievement for me. Yeah, so 90 days carnivore, I would say that it's, I'm adjusting to it. I'm trying to work out how I can tailor it best. I just feel like a sense of purpose and gratitude to all of you who have come and watched the videos and commented, and I really hope that all of you that are experimenting with the diet or have been on it for a long time or who are considering doing it, I really hope that your lives also change for the better, because life is never easy. I don't need to tell you guys about how difficult life is, and life remains difficult just because you've gone carnivore. It doesn't stop it from being difficult. But I was not well enough to handle life before. By any stretch, I was not well enough. I think that the carnivore diet has just put me back in a place where I'm like, there's a part of me which is just like, it's worth hanging on. It's worth hanging on. So that's where I'm at. Things are going fine. I've started introducing the odd bit of fruit into my diet, I'm worried about money, but I am going to investigate ways to reduce my costs, one of which was getting 4 new chickens. At least the eggs then are covered. So I'm definitely committed to continuing after my 90 days. This has been one of the most eye-opening experiences, and it just makes me think, you know, what information can we trust these days about anything, but most importantly about our health, because health comes first. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.